An in-depth look into the school store.
Isaac Malish and his passion for basketball.
A look into famous TikTokers around Eureka. One of Eureka's own wins one of the most prestigious scholarships in the country.
The St. Louis area's new gas station sensation.
Graduation, Shavitz Arena or Powerplex.
A look back into a band teacher's legacy.
All that and more. This is EBN. Thanks for joining us on our April EBN broadcast. I'm Jackson Kirn, joined alongside Drew Steffan.
The school store is an important staple for many students' days at Eureka High School. Reporters Jackson Kirn, Aiden McNamee, and Josh Travis tell us about the inner workings of the school store.
The school store is a big part of student life at Eureka High School. Every lunch, many students visit the school store to buy snacks and drinks as opposed to buying them from the lunch line or bringing them from home. We talked to some students and asked them why they continue to buy from the school store.
Because I'm hungry throughout the day and I like to have snacks for me and my friends.
I buy a lot of things from the school store because they have a lot of options, and honestly they have better drinks than the vending machines, and it's just more efficient than going to the lunch line.
I like to eat a lot, and it's a lot easier than going to the gas station every morning.
After talking to the students, we decided to talk to a parent volunteer about the inner workings of the school store.
I volunteer for the store to help our school community and support our teachers and our students, and to help make money to support the students and staff at Eureka. So all of our financials are available on the PTO website. Everything we make is put back directly into the school, whether it be in teacher grants or events or different events or fundraising opportunities that the students need to go to, or activities they need to participate in.
We then found out where the school store gets all of its snacks and how those snacks benefit the school.
Teachers often will ask for money for different things they need for their classrooms, activities. Different student organizations can request monies. We also have scholarships for seniors for them when they head to college. So everything we purchase, we usually purchase at Sam's, and different parent volunteers take turns picking them up and bringing them into the school or having them delivered.
Lastly, students talked about their favorite things to buy from the school store.
Probably a Mountain Dew. It helps me get through the day.
Probably the ice cream sandwiches. They're called Fat Boys. They're pretty good.
Definitely sugar wafers. I had an addiction to them sophomore and junior year and probably dropped about $80 on it.
Students at Eureka can often find freshman Isaac Malish shooting hoops outside the Gym A atrium. Through basketball, he connects with students and staff around Eureka. Reporters Mateo Grassi, Clayton Gunley, and Drew Steffan show us Isaac's love for the game.
Bingo! Here's his name, Mo.
Isaac is a breath of fresh air. I mean, he's a great kid. He is always coming here positive every day. He's just such a happy kid all the time.
I would consider him one of my top good friends. Like he's an all-around nice guy who loves basketball. Basically, we have one thing in common, and that one thing in common is we both have a passion for basketball.
I like keeping my mind off backwards and all this junk stuff, so that's why I play basketball. It makes me feel like Pete's Buckyers a little bit.
As far as a person, he brings a different aspect to the class as far as just like his enthusiasm about school.
Nice, nice. Good job. He always wants to be the EHS basketball player. Sometimes I sing, sometimes I talk, sometimes I'm like the tutor who's in the basketball tournament, you know? So, yeah.
We all know in a 1v1 game, it would all go down to the wire with me hitting the three to end it.
Me, because he's way taller and I can like spin and all kind of stuff. Bingo!
TikTok has skyrocketed in popularity over the past few years, and many students have experienced that firsthand. Reporters Anthony Clerico, Michael Brown, and Ben Forsyth take a look at students who share their talents and thoughts on the platform.
I got into TikTok, honestly, I was just kind of bored one day at work. I was like, I might as well just kind of start somewhere. So I picked one of my favorite trending audios at the time. I was like, yeah, this will do it.
It was right around when it started getting popular my freshman year, which was like 2018, end of 2018. It was kind of like a joke. At the time I was like really into memes, so I thought I'd just get into it and like try it out.
When I was younger, I had like Musical.ly and I did Musical.ly with my friends. Middle school didn't have a ton of social media. TikTok was the only one my parents would let me have, so I kind of just had fun with that.
TikTok probably from my cousins. For me personally, I like doing those transition videos because they seem to get a lot of likes.
So I'm not too good at dancing at all. I would say my favorite trends were like kind of like just like the random audios, for example. Dr. Umar, if you know him, he says a lot of wild things.
I don't know about like trends. I just like kind of when people do their own stuff. Favorite historical figures, because I love history. It got around like 50,000 views, I think, and people really seem to enjoy that.
There was one on my spam account actually that blew up. It was me turning pictures of me and my siblings into the opposite gender. So that kind of grew my account a lot.
I think like when I'm with my friends, Mazola and Skyland Pogue and Cora Skaggs were all signing. We did like a slow motion video almost as like a hype video.
My first video was a hat and a bag of donuts just sitting on the floor. And then after that, I just kind of kept going with my TikToks.
Senior Ben Wiseman qualified for a National Merit Scholarship based off his incredible PSAT score. Reporters Ella Hammerschmidt and Fiona Hines take a dive into his great accomplishments.
Ben Wiseman qualified for the prestigious National Merit Scholarship. But what exactly is the National Merit Scholarship?
So when you take the PSAT, the best scorers then become semifinalists for national merit, and then they do a separate application to become finalists.
Only the top 1% of students taking the PSAT are named National Merit Finalists.
And that allows you to have scholarships from sponsor colleges or private businesses, or you can get just like separate scholarships from National Merit, which is part of College Board.
Ben says that he has always enjoyed school and has always been relatively good at it.
Everything builds on each other, so you can always find the next level of what you can do and apply that to something useful.
Wiseman never really received pressure from his parents growing up, but instead prepped for the test on his own. He's achieved a 4.6 GPA in his 4 years of high school.
I plan to research biochemistry for pharmaceuticals or plant research.
For EBN, I'm Fiona Hines.
St. Louis has a new road trip destination in town. Reporters Sydney Bailey, Nolan Orsenow, Maddie Beatty, and Emma Handrigan take a look at the new Wallies location in Fenton off I-44.
You may have noticed recently a new addition to the businesses dotting the sides of Highway 44. A behemoth of a gas station proudly bearing the name Wallies. But what's the deal with this business? We talked to manager Tim Good to take a closer look.
Gourmet popcorn, hand-carved barbecue, upscale cafe, bulk jerky by the pound, bakery, pizza, you name it, we've got it. So not just a typical gas station.
With a whopping 72 gas pumps, 4 fast chargers for electric vehicles, and a plethora of food options, Wallies has a lot to offer. Which begs the question, why here?
Just the location itself, where it sits. The traffic counts on the highway here are 3 to 4 times higher than our first store that we opened, so it's just the ideal location. My favorite part of the store is the center vault area with the huge vaulted ceilings.
It's safe to say Wallies is more than just a gas station. It's a full-blown road trip destination right in Eureka's backyard, and it's well worth checking out. For EBN, I'm Nolan Ortnow.
2022 graduation is right around the corner, and it's the first year back at the Shavitz Arena. Seniors compare Powerplex to Shavitz and which site they'd rather have their graduation at. Reporters Gracie Herbold, Ryan Holtz, Seth Hutchinson, and Carter Lewis find out which graduation place students like the most.
After 2 years, graduation is back at SLU's Shavitz Arena.
It's on June 1st, starts at 7 o'clock, and it's the first time in 3 years that we've been back at Shavitz. And then the last 2 years we've been at the Powerplex out in St. Charles area. I mean, I think that Shavitz is different from the Powerplex in that Shavitz is more of a, well, it's confined, but it's more of a professional atmosphere. Powerplex was more of a, you know, it was an outdoor gathering. It was kind of a picnic. Everybody just kind of had fun. We set up, you know, people would pull their cars up and sit out on their tailgates and bring a picnic lunch and stuff like that. This is more of a traditional graduation where you come and you celebrate the graduates as a family, and then after you go somewhere and celebrate. To me, it doesn't really matter where it's at. I think the biggest part is that we celebrate our students, celebrate these accomplishments that they've accomplished over the last 4 years, and really give them the send-off that they deserve.
Based on our Instagram poll, it looks like more people prefer graduation at Chaffetz. However, we talked to 3 seniors to get their opinion on which one they like better.
I've been to both, and I liked both because I had a previous brother, but I like the Powerplex better just because it's like more spread out and you can have a lot more people too.
I would say Powerplex because it's less formal and there's more seating.
Personally, I would rather have the graduation at the Powerplex rather than Chaffetz because when my brother graduated 2 years ago in 2020, it was really fun just having a different experience than having to be stuck in rows of chairs, and I really like being able to hang out with all of our friends and like tailgate and hang out together.
As Dr. Arledge said, ultimately, it doesn't matter where graduation is. The goal of graduation is to celebrate our seniors and their achievements. See you at Chaffetz on June 1st. For EBN, I'm Gracie Herberholt.
Mr. Errata has been teaching band at Eureka for 27 years. Reporter Colin Dames takes a look at his legacy.
He was just a really fun teacher. He got like everybody hype about marching band.
Mr. Errata went on military leave January 1st. We were originally told he would be back March 1st, got extended to April 15th. Then before spring break, he emailed and said he was retiring and was offered a full-time job and retired.
Mr. Errata definitely brought a lot of just experience to the band program. That's not something that you can just pick up overnight.
What I remember most is I've just learned so much from him. I learned a lot about how to relate to students. I've learned a lot about how to manage a class.
He brought a lot of experience from his own marching and just from like being in the military as well. Definitely like a sense of like, like unity, dignity, like stuff like that you wouldn't even really think about is really important for like a marching band, but he definitely brought that to the table.
I would say probably the best story I have with Mr. Errata is that he would sit down and talk to these kids, and they would almost be like a moral moment with Uncle Errata. And so he would sit down and tell stories that he had learned throughout his life that were great for students just to have.
He really kept the band going and always trying to keep energy alive, and just all of his knowledge of music from the years of his experience.
If I had one thing to say to Mr. Errata, I would say congratulations on your retirement. Good luck to you and Miss Tracy and the rest of your family as you move forward into this next stage of your life. I've learned a lot from you, and I hope that we remain in touch throughout the years.
That's all for us here from Studio E at Eureka High School. From EBN, I'm Drew Steffan.
And I'm Jackson Kirn. Thanks for watching. We will see you at Chaffetz Arena June 1st for our senior broadcast.